Alrighty guys, I've managed to get a little bit of progress done on this little FCO 152 grudge match build here. She goes all the way around, so I did get the piston fitting. I've got all the machine work done, the chamber work done. I'll discuss some of the ideas I'm thinking. Right there's bottom dead center. The piston's kind of I had to cut a bunch off the base on this thing, but the piston's kind of sticking up in that port there. I'm honestly thinking about, when I shape that exhaust port, I'm honestly thinking about scribing a line. Yeah, I think that's bottom dead center. I got quite a bit of room before I get to that ring gland there. I might knock the edge of that off and get some of my exhaust timing by taking it off the piston. I didn't end up cutting the top of the piston at all. It's still got the little, if you look in there, it's still got the little, it's got the pop up on it. But I did a ton of chamber work to this thing. I ended up cutting about 65, 68 off the base or whatever. I think it's gonna work. Should give me, even as much as I cut off, the skirts are longer on this, so I got plenty of room to play on the intake. Let me get you set over here. I got the piston lightened as well in the wrist pin. The wrist pin's down to 11 grams, and went from 13 grams to 11, so I got 2 grams off that. I got all this dirt up here. Dirt everywhere. But the ring, the pin, the needle cage, everything, the complete piston is down to 70 grams. So overall, I'm 7 grams total lighter than what the factory was. So I'm very pleased with that. I can live with that. I am going to bolt this block back into, probably before I go in tonight. Probably not going to get much farther on it tonight, but I want to bolt that block in so I can get my wheel on it. And then start figuring out what sets of numbers. I'm probably not going to discuss my numbers because this is a grudge match. But show you the piston. Here's where the flow comes up through the transfers. I've got quite a bit more, almost probably an 1/8 inch more room than what the factory one did to get charge up the transfers. And then I don't know if you can see in there, but the piston is lightened. I shaped all this by hand. It's probably not perfect, but good enough for me. It does have a little bit of play in here, but I think it's going to be all right. So, where is a pointer? This will work. Like I said, I haven't started any of the port work, all chamber work. I didn't really want to cut any deeper. The base cut turned out real nice too. Of course, it was a new bit, but I come up here, and it's all blurry. I come up here and touched off at the original angle, and I cut this. Camera's hard to pick up, but it from here to there is it's 21 thou squish, and by the time you get to here, it turns to 50 thou squish, and then from here to there, it changes again. There's actually 3 different angles that I cut into this. So I turned this whole, because this chamber was little, I kind of reshaped this a little bit in here too. But I turned this whole thing into the combustion chamber the best I could. Only got what I got to work with. So that is the update that I have on this so far. Muffler's still been soaking in there. I ain't looked at it. It's been in there all last night and all the day. I don't think the steel muffler is going anywhere in my solution. I do got to put this on, and I'm going to match the exhaust to that. And so on and so forth. But yeah, I don't. From here on out, I might not show you what I got going on in here because, like I said, this is a grudge match, and me and my buddy are trying to outdo each other, so I'm probably gonna get my butt kicked. But I'm off to a good start so far, feeling pretty good about my work. I'm digging it. Essentially, that chamber is like a reverse 3-angle valve job now. I do that to some Dalmars. I've done that to some of the Dalmars I've done, because Dalmars have a very similar chamber to that, and it's worked really good for me in the Dalmars. So, but I'd try that, and then I'm going to take what worked really good for me in the 4910s and adapt it in a few spots, and then I'm also going to turn around and take what works really good in a MS 440 and kind of take how I build the Dalmar 4910 and the 440 and merge them all together, and part way on what I do with the Husqvarna as well, and mix it up, shake it up, and see what I get. Hopefully we get a good result and not something that tastes bad. So alrighty, I think I'm going to call this a video, but there's the update. Machine work is done. Machine work and piston mods is done. I guess I can knock the piston out and show you the light and the wrist pin. Push that through. Right? It goes in one way easier than the other way. Don't know why. Essentially, I just went in and turned it into like a steel wrist pin. Is it worth it? Some say no. I probably got 2 hours dinking around with that wrist pin. So, but it's 2 grams lighter because of that. So, lighter you can get the top end of this is equals to more power. The motor has to work less to swing it up there and swing it back down. So, it's not stored energy like what would be in the crankshaft. The weights that's on the flywheel, the clutch, and the crankshaft, that all stores, spun up energy. Granted, a lighter crank and flywheel and stuff is easier to spin it up, but when you go into the wood, it doesn't have as much stored energy to keep you going. You're relying on total power of the saw, not what it stored up. But the lighter you can get everything above this point up, it just makes more power. Works in big engines I used to build. It works in these little engines. Those that say a heavier piston makes more torque, it takes more energy to stuff it up there, and then it's got to quickly switch directions and freaking bring it back down the other way. So your charge is, getting spent trying to push the extra weight down, when that extra, the energy in that charge could be transferred into rotational energy. So hopefully that makes sense to somebody. But yeah, so there's the update on the EFCO build. You guys take it easy and have a good one.